guys, it's me, Mary. So I did a lot of thinking overnight about what kind of video I wanted to do for you guys, and I decided that I wanted to showcase a little more of my serious side and my mental mindset because I really don't do that often enough, and I feel like I should. So the moral of this video is going to be everything happens for a reason, and there's going to be a story to go with it, so if you feel like you're interested in listening, then continue to watch. So a lot of people ask me, why aren't I in college? I'm 18 years old, I graduated high school nearly a year ago, and people often, just assume that people are just going to go to college. Well, I tried it. I went to a college in New Hampshire for a short period of time. It was a decent university. It was up in the White Mountains, very scenic, a lot of places to get to, and it offered what I was interested in, which was the performing arts and elementary education. And I went there last year at the end of August. I moved in. I met my roommate, a couple times before, so we knew each other pretty well. She was a nice girl. We had some similar interests. We didn't always hang out every second of the day, but we were very civil. And I stayed there for, I guess a little over a week, pretty much. I went to most of my classes. I got a feel for the campus. I had attended some student days and activity sessions previous to my move-in. And as I was sitting in these huge classrooms with a lot more people than I was ever used to, I just realized that it didn't feel like home to me. Now, I'm not a person who's ever had a lot of friends. I'm not a person who's ever been confident in myself or my abilities whatsoever. And it was definitely an adjustment for me. The one thing about that experience that I think was really positive was that it brought me out of my shell. I felt a lot more confident to talk to new people that I have never met before. I was able to actually look them in the eye and have a proper conversation, and it was nice. And, sometimes I regret not staying there because I feel like if I had stayed there, I would actually have friends with friendships with like-minded people like myself who can actually hold the conversation, because that's so seldom and rare these days. But it was a lot of different reasons for me as to why I left. About 2 days before I left, my mom had a very serious cardiac medical episode in which her heartbeat was irregular and she had to stay in the hospital overnight. And as you could probably figure out from that, my mental state was not great whatsoever. And the very next day, the morning that she was actually released from the hospital, we had to go up to New Hampshire and get ready to move me in the very next day after that. So this was the day before. So that was one factor. So I had my mom on my mind, and I was afraid, well, what if I'm not there to be able to take care of her? Because let's face it, nobody else besides my dad and I will. And my parents are older. My mom's 61, she's going on 62. My dad's 85, going on 86. So it's an age gap marriage. They're older. We have a history of medical problems in the family. And none of the other kids in the family on either side, are really capable of taking care of my parents for different reasons. Some of them out of ignorance, and some of them just, they have their own issues, which I'm not going to get into because that's private. But, it's not all of their faults, just, some of them. So that was one factor. My other factor is school anxiety. When I was in high school and middle school, I was always striving to be on the honor roll, and every quarter for 6 years, so that's 24 quarters of my life, I stressed myself out beyond belief to make sure that I always had an 80 or higher in every single course. And I ended up graduating at the top of my class. Right, my rank I think was like 19 in the top 25, so I was proud of myself for that. But the mental trauma that came along with doing so, honestly, I question whether or not it was worth it. So that was another factor. And number 3, the third factor was money. I'm not rich whatsoever. A lot of people assume because I like to travel a lot and go different places that I'm rich. I work for a job and I make slightly above minimum wage, only, 25 cents. But, that's a whole nother topic that I'm about to transition into. So the point of that aspect is that I don't regret trying it. At least I, did try it, because some people are just, they just don't, and they never can say whether or not they actually tried it. And it helped me realize something, is that, it's not what media and everybody pegs it as. While college is nice and it's beneficial, it comes with a lot of stress, a lot of debt, and usually about 20 to 30 years of paying off that debt. So basically, you're just paying your life away. Now, if you're going into a field that has a great job ratio, I'm all for that. If you're going to college to be a nurse, that's great, because you're probably going to end up getting a job. But, college doesn't guarantee you a great job. Because I know people who have gone to college, majored in business, and are doing, restaurant work, like a food manager, or, doing jobs that people who don't have degrees are doing. I apologize for my babbling, because like I said, I'm a horrible, horrible talker. So that was one chapter. The next chapter after that was me coming home. I came home that week and a half later, and I sat in my room in a depression for about 2 weeks, contemplating what I'm gonna do with my life now that I'm back. And I decided that, well, I want money, so I'm gonna go right to work. So it took me a couple of weeks, a lot of applications, multiple interviews. I didn't get anywhere. So I got in touch with an old friend of mine who's actually a mentor who got me interested in working with children. Because my senior year of high school, I did an internship at a local elementary school with these wonderful, wonderful kids, and I fell in love. They were the most special group of kids that I've ever met, seriously. And I talked to her, I explained to her why I was back, what was going on, and she didn't judge me. Now, that's what I really appreciated, because it is so seldom nowadays for you to be honest and open about yourself and your experiences without getting judged, because most people will just shit on you instantly. And she helped me get in touch with my current boss. She reached out, made a recommendation for me, told her about how great I was with her class last year, and I managed to get an interview. The interview went really well. I got the job, and it was great, and I was so happy because it was originally the field that I was going into, and I'm still with this job today. It's been 9 months now with another group of kids who are great, and I enjoy it, even though it's very challenging at times. It's very rewarding, and yet I'm also still volunteering at the same place that I did my internship last year. So that's one of my experiences that goes with my belief that everything happens for a reason. College didn't work out, but yet I still got a decent paying job with decent hours, and it's one that I can enjoy and have fun. So, yeah. So the next chapter in this everything happens for a reason tale is on the subject of friends. Now, as you know, I've never had a lot of friends, I've never been popular, and I'm pretty sure you could figure that out just by watching one of my YouTube videos. Well, as high school ended and, that fizzled out, most of my friendships did as well. Not for the first few months, though. For the first few months, I still had all of my friends. We still got together pretty frequently, at least twice a month. A lot of group hangouts, went to movies, went to the mall, everything that normal teenagers and young adults do. And it was great. But around Christmas, I started to do a lot of really deep thinking. And I realized that a lot of these people that I'm surrounded with are people who don't want to go anywhere and are content with their lives the way they are. Now, I'm a person who likes to experience new things. I'm very motivated, I'm hardworking, I'm detailed. I don't mean to sound cocky, but, I am a very hard worker, and I have many positive attributes. And these people were just dragging me down. Like, they were just pulling me into all of this unnecessary drama that reminded me of high school. And I hated high school. I did well in high school, but I dealt with so much petty shit. I did horrible relationships. I didn't want it anymore. So I would pull aside each and every person if I got to see them in person, and if not, I did it online because that was my only way of doing so. And I said, listen, I don't think you're a bad person, but I don't see this friendship lasting. It's just, I've outgrown you, and I'm sorry. And I know that's kind of a mean thing to say to somebody, but I outgrew a lot of these people, and I only talk to one of them still. And even so, him and I had a few confrontations, and we had stopped talking for a while, and we just got back into the swing of things, and I'm going really slow because I have trust issues. I don't trust easily, and a lot of people have given me reasons not to trust them. And I'm working on that. I confess that I have a lot of my own issues too. I have depression, I have anxiety, I can be bipolar sometimes, and I'm a pain in the ass. But, I'd rather be alone than with people who make me feel alone. That's why I've been single for over a year now, because I'm tired of chasing after guys who can't offer me anything, who play games, and just won't allow me to grow and be myself. With every guy that I have ever been with, I have lost a piece of myself, and I don't want to do that. So I'm waiting until the next special guy comes along, someone who's different from the rest, not Prince Charming, but, someone who's, can give me a good future and works hard and is just a positive person, not somebody who's going to physically and emotionally abuse me, because I've been through that and I don't want to go through that again. So that was that chapter. So where am I now? I am working at my job still, the one that I got 9 months ago. I'm still volunteering. I have established amazing connections with a lot of the children that I've worked with over the past couple of years, both volunteering and actual working. And I've traveled the country. I've done a lot of impulse traveling. I've been LA, I've been to Vegas, I have been to Atlantic City and North Carolina and Baltimore, and I auditioned for The Voice, and I'm going to Florida actually this month, which is kind of funny. I'm going to Universal and Disney for a few days, and I've done a lot of impulse traveling, but, with these trips, not only am I making special memories because I have the time to do so, but, I'm living. And I'm happy to be living, because I was sick for a very long time, and I got a second chance. and I'm not going to waste that second chance getting an education that isn't going to take me anywhere. I'm not going to waste that second chance being unhappy and miserable and associating with the wrong people. I'm gonna do me. And as I have focused on me, I have a better mental state than I used to. I've come a long way. I've lost a lot of weight. I was very self-conscious about my appearance, and I'm slowly liking myself. I've lost 22 pounds so far, and I'm still going at it because I have a ways to go. But I feel more content about things, and even though a lot of things haven't worked out for me, I feel like something greater is coming. And when that something greater comes, I'm gonna be ready for it.